guys, happy What Wednesday. So this is part 2 in our video series with Mountain Man Watson.
And we're going to talk about live oak and holly. And there's actually several different things going on with each of them. Some of them are disease related and then others are not. So look forward to it. Okay, so Mountain Man Watson, I brought you over to this tree because these leaves do not look pretty. So Can you please tell me what's going on with this one?
So when you're looking at this, one of the issues could be it's not getting enough water or nutrients or something's affecting that, and so you kind of want to go down through the tree and look. This is one of the things that's very common. This wasn't seen because this tree was mulched, right? It wasn't seen. But these are the straps that I've cut. This one hasn't been cut yet. That were used to hold the tree, the balled and burlap. If you've ever seen the trees that are dug out of a field, balled and burlap, the straps to pull it out. People think that and the wire degrades in the soil over time. It either rusts or it rots or something. They don't, actually. I've seen these last, I've actually seen string last over 25 years. And so what can happen, and what's happening on this side, is they start to girdle the tree, just like you would put a tourniquet on your arm, and then your arm would die because it cuts off the circulation. This is wrapped around the tree, girdling it, cutting off the circulation, which for this is the vascular system. It's right underneath the bark where it's moving water and materials up. So sometimes you see things in the canopy that you think is a canopy problem, but it's really in the root system. This is very common with nurseries with poor root systems. They don't take up water very well.
Can we get rid of that?
Yes, that needs to be cut out of there. That could be contributing to some of this. I'd also ask your landscape person if they're using herbicides.
I have a lot of questions for them.
And for homeowners, they commonly buy weed and feed fertilizer, try to get a 2-in-1 deal. I've seen a lot of tree problems with that, so it's one of the things I usually recommend people don't use. But professionals are much better at it, and bring that to their attention. The tree, it looks fairly healthy. It's got a few issues that might concern you that aren't really issues. If you look over here, I saw those. You see these holes that are in the tree?
Those are holes?
Yeah,
they
you
look
can
like
see
they're
them.
Part of the tree.
Right, but if you look, you can actually, poke something into the holes. And so a lot of people are concerned that boars attack their tree, wood-boring insects that are coming in that will kill the tree. In this case, that's not what those are. This is caused by a bird. It's a sapsucker. And the reason I know it's a sapsucker without seeing the bird is they make a distinctive straight line of holes. A woodpecker makes random holes because they're going after insects that are in the trees, and the insects make random holes. But these, what the little sapsuckers are doing, is they're poking holes to cause sap to come out of the tree. And then the sap will collect some insects sometime, and they use certain trees around your property sort of as traps. And so they'll make holes, get some insects, sap comes out, they'll go to other trees, then they'll come back later and eat the sap and the insect, and they just keep making holes. Generally, this doesn't cause a problem, and for live oaks, as they get older, they'll quit doing this because the bark gets too thick. The other problem that I saw that might concern you, because it concerns some people, is this guy.
It's kind of cute.
This is called ball moss. It's an epiphyte, meaning it's like an air fern. Air ferns are kind of the hip thing in the 70s. You probably not, I can't think of any place where they sell them now, but it grows off what it gets out of the air for its nutrients and for its water. So it's not a parasite. It's not sucking sap out of the tree or anything. And so generally it's not harmful except for two ways. One is, you can see this branch was dead. I broke it off. They have a hold fast on the back. And if you want to think of it like a twist tie on a bag of bread.
Oh, yeah.
And that hold fast, this thing is pretty well attached to keep it from blowing out of the tree. Those can girdle, just like when we looked at the strap girdling the tree. They can girdle the branch and cause it to die. That's one issue. The other one is if you get so much of this in your tree that it's covering a branch, it doesn't get any light, and the buds will die. They don't get sunlight, they can't grow out. So if it's really heavy, it's a problem. If it's light, it's not a problem. And hey, if you have potted plants outside, this makes great. you have potted plants outside, this makes great mulch just to put a bunch of them around it, like the sphagnum mulch you'd buy, and it stays alive and looks kind of neat. So, but other than that, I think your tree is going to be great. We just need to cut those and make sure that any other issues, if they happened with a herbicide, are not happening. But other than that, I think that the tree's great.
So my next question was, were these little white spots on the tree, are they supposed to be there? Is that part of the tree?
So you're talking about, let's see if I can pull one up. So you're talking about these little dots. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Okay, so that is not part of the tree.
Okay.
And it's not a fungus. Surprisingly, this is a very tiny insect. And they're known as scale. They're interesting. But what they do is they basically suck sap out of the leaf.
Oh, they sound disgusting.
And if we had some bigger ones, we could take a look, but you can sort of scrape them off with your fingernail, and if you look underneath, the reason they're called scaled is because they actually produce, it looks like a shield right over their body that helps protect them from predators. And so inside that shield that we're looking at here, underneath, there's a female that's feeding off of the leaf, and then she'll lay eggs and they'll come crawling out, and you'll get more, and they'll spread. Well, something that might concern you might be this black stuff, which is a fungus. Let me pull one of these out. Right, you see your scale on this side, and then you've got this black on the bottom side, and so that is a fungus that's associated with the scale.
That's just dirt.
So it looks like it, and you can rub it off. So it's not a pathogen. It's not parasitic to the plant. What it's doing is what comes out of this the south end of a northbound scale.
Oh my gosh.
We call it honeydew because it sounds
disgusting.
a lot nicer, but you kind of understand what that is. So this stuff grows on that sticky honeydew.
Oh my goodness. That was literally our faces when we were recording that video, because we did not know that city mold grew on scale feces. That was so much awesome information.
Yeah, and he actually joked around saying that he was going to put his fingers in his mouth after touching all over it. No, not for us.
No. But anyway, we have one more video in this series, so we will see you next week.
Bye.